Hi and welcome to Object-Oriented Tax Calculator Inventory System. Okay, let me reset it and you guys see how it works. If I enter whatever value in there and purposely leave some of the text box empty, this is what is going to happen. So let's come in here and do the same thing here and click on total. There we go. You see all the text box that is left empty, they are now disabled and 0 entered into them. You can also exit, or you can just reset and start it all over. So what I'm going to do now is I'll take you guys straight into Visual Basic Development environment, and we put one of these very advanced and beautiful tutorial together. So let's do that now, guys. Hi and welcome to Visual Basic.NET Object Oriented Tutorial. I'm going to start by clicking on Create New. This tutorial is going to be based on how to calculate tax using an object-oriented technique. Alright, our dialog box is ready, so let's select Visual Basic and select Windows Forms application, and we give that a name, VB tax underscore object underscore oriented, maybe tutorial. Right, now click on save. There we go. Now my form is ready. Let's click on the properties of this very form and let's change the whole property. The first thing I'll do is let's come right down here, change the size. The size will be 1386 by 788. That's the height and width. Then the next thing is in there, let me just enter object-oriented tax calculation. Right, that is the title, and in here start position, let's get that centered. Right, now let's come straight to the properties here, and in there I need some panels. Let's come right down, grab a panel. There we go. We have a panel here. That will just be for the title. You don't have to have a title, but I just feel like having a title. And just move it all the way. That is my panel right there. I'm going to now change the appearance of that very panel. Come straight to border style and change that to 3D. Right, and let's just copy it across. We need one here, and right in here, just move this down. Okay, I'm going to shrink this and just copy it across. Let's copy. I'm going to need it to as a design, or to design the interface. So I can now do whatever I like with this. Right, now the next thing I want to do now is let's come in here and grab ourselves. We're going to need checkbox. One checkbox here, and I think I'm going to need about 10 of those. And I'm going to need text box. I need a couple of those as well. So let's just speed up the whole process. Okay guys, I've more or less finished the design of the interface. I know you might be wondering why it's only tax calculator. Well, I just want it to be busy, that's all. You don't have to make yours to be busy, okay? Alright, so the next thing I want to do now is just add a title here. So first of all, let's increase the size of this to about 1000. There. I'm going to more or less copy it across anyway. So let's come in here, get a label right here, and I'll like that label to be Let's increase the size first, or enter something there. The objects oriented, and now let's increase the size of that. Okay, let's see what's going to happen. Go for 35 first, bold, and see right there. Okay, let's send this back right there. So what you will see is something like that. Okay, so just maybe change the color. Let's come to the back color and let's make it maybe highlight. Yeah, that's it, and copy it. So that's how I'm going to design that, the title over there. So bring another one down, right, and this is how my title look like. Get rid of that. This is how it looks like now. Okay, alright, right there guys. So I'm going to now speed up the whole process, then we go ahead and take care of the calculations, or the coding I mean. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to start work with the coding. So let's come right here. The first thing I like to do is to go straight into project there, and let's select a class. Right, yeah. So I'm going to give my class, let's just call it C-Tax. That's the name of my class, really, right there. So the first thing I like to do is right in here, I'm going to declare all of my variables, really. So if I declare those variables as private, that means I'm going to have to also define the properties, and I have about 10 of those. No, I think I have about 20. So but if I make it public, you can always change the price. You have access to whatever you want to do. So maybe we should just make it public. Let's go for public. Public will make life a little bit easy. So I'm going to call them, because it's food item, so let's say food item 1. Item 1. Make that as double. Right, that's the very first one. So I can always just copy this one, because I have about 20 of those. I'm just going to speed it up right away and change the date on it. Right, let's change this to 2 and so on. 3. Okay, I've declared all of my data member. We can also call it variables, but I'm kind of like feeling guilty. Maybe I should change it all to private. I'm going to copy it and just change it all to private, really. So let's paste it in Notepad and just change everything to private. But that means we're going to have to declare some properties for it then. Alright, change it all. There we go. Just copy and replace everything. Replace it all with private. There. That's it. All done. Now, what's going to happen then is the first thing. Let me create my function for this private first before I continue. So let's say get amount. Get amount as double, right, and I would like it to return let me do one thing first. I'm going to make this and this the 11th one. I'm going to make them add up everything in there equals item number 1. It says food, so that's number 1. We have 2, so let's pick that up as well. Okay, that's the very first one. The next one I want to put together is going to be that of drinks, before returning the value of both into. So let's come in here and just put drinks together. That's number 1 plus number 2, and so on. So let's pick that up as well. Okay, food item and drinks are now ready. So we now have to return. What we have to return is going to be, let's put them in brackets, that will be food item 11 plus, let's say, drinks item 11. That's all. Right, that is done. So the next thing is, let me create the properties for each of these items. In total is going to be 20. Okay, let's come in here. So right underneath here, let's create the very first property, and I'm going to make it public property. So the property can always be read only, write only, or read and write. So the very first item is food item 1. Okay, let's declare that as double. Right. So now you can see we have an error, but when we say set, let's say value, or we can just value as double. Right, just press enter here. There we go. So let's make this is a variable on its own, so let's change that to, let's enter an S here, food items 1. Okay, that's fine. That's the very first one. Okay, so I'll still recognize which belongs to which. So now that we have that, the problem is, if value is less than or equals to 0, then what? So I want you to give us the value into the food item number 1 itself. So what I'm going to do is to use an if statement right here and say, if the value itself, the value is less than or equals to 0, then what? It's a food item number 1, this very one. Copy that, equals the value, right there. That's taken care of. Now all we then need to do is we just ask it to return food items. You can see there's an S in this one. Okay, so right in here we say, where we have get and end get, you enter return this very one, food items. There. So that's my very first one. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is just copy this and just change it around. That's all I'll just do. So I'm going to copy that. Let's collapse this. I've already copied it, and just come right down here, right underneath here, paste. So this one becomes 2. That'll be for food item 2. There. Okay, I suppose you guys can see it, so I'm going to collapse that again, paste, so that we have enough room. That's number 3. Okay, So those are the properties for each of these variable up there. The course is private, so you don't have any access to it. So the only way is through using public properties here. Okay, so let's collapse that as well. So do one more and we'll just speed it up. So this number 4 and 4 here, and then speed it up. Okay guys, I have completed the properties for each variable. That's it. This is for the, or these are for the drinks. Okay, I have to collapse it because there isn't enough room. You can see that of the drinks, I called the name for the variable is menu drink, and menu drink 9 is for drink number 9, and we have for 10, and we have 11 where I add up all the drinks. The same thing was repeated for the food, which was the very first one I did, but I think I may have to change this to, instead of calling it food items, I can just call it menu food items, so you guys will know the difference. Menu food item is for food number 1, so I'm just going to repeat the same thing for this so that I don't get myself confused. So I'm going to speed that up now. Okay, now that all of the properties are taken care of, that's it right there. So the next thing is, which is what the tutorial is all about, is for the tags. So I'm going to create the tags right in here. Okay, but first thing first, let's go right up here. I will declare my tags there. I'm going to declare my tags as constant. So let's come right underneath here and just say constant. Let me say MC tags underscore rate equals, let's say 0.65. There, that's my tax rate. Done. So that is it done. So right underneath the variable, I can just enter public function. Let's say function find tags. Let's say find tags. Okay, let's say by value C amount. C amount as double. Right, and as double. Right, and press enter, and right inside there I'm going to now say find tags itself, which is right there. See find tags. Let's move it up so that you can see it. See find tags equals C amount is 01 minus C amount multiplied by MC tags rate. There, that is the function for the tags created. So whatever all of these amount to, this function takes care of that. Alright, so I think we finished most of what we need to do here. Oh, okay, let's do one more. Let's create one more. Yeah, I'm just gonna function. I'm gonna use that for my exit. Yeah, say public. Let's share that. Share function exit. Function exit system. There, that's my function exit system. In here I'm going to declare as follows: dim I exit as dialog. Yeah, dialog result is right there. Okay, let's move that up so that you guys can see it. Now let's use an if statement to check what is in there. If I exit, no, before that, let's say I exit equals message box dot show. Okay, and confirm if you want to exit. So close that and just enter. Okay, let's enter a comma there and just give it a title. Let's say tax control, comma, and let's use another built-in function, message box button dot yes no, comma, message box icon, this very one, dot question, right there. Close that. Now we can then use if statement. If I exit equals dialog dot yes, then application dot exit. There we go. So this is the function to exit. Let's collapse this, collapse that. Everything is now as object oriented. Oh, let's see, what's that error in here? This should be menu. Right, that's taken care of. Alright, close these as well, and these. Alright, so right inside this very ctax class, I have the calculation for all of my menus and so on. Then I have tax control, and I also have exit control there. Okay, alright, so now let's come right inside the program itself, right here. So right in here, let's start with the exit first. So double click on the exit, and look at the name for my class. So I'm just gonna call the class itself ctax dot, there we go, exit system. That's all there is to it. So exit is taken care of. So you see, everything is now modularized and it makes life easy for us. So we just run it and see how that works. So when we click on this, there, nope, let's say confirm if you want to exit. Yes, I want to exit. There we go. You see, that's beautiful. Now the next thing, let's take care of, okay, we take care of the whole component. So what I want to do is, when I start the system, I would like all of these to be disabled, and if the checkbox are checked, I would like them to be unchecked as well. So the way I'm going to go about that is, I'm going to come right here underneath here. Let's create as follows. I'm going to write a function, this very function, have a good look at it. Okay, from here down here, that is for the text box. Okay, so if the text box is cleared, that will set it back to 0, and if it's enabled, that will make it disabled. Else, if there's nothing in there, it will just change it to 0 for me. That is what is here, from here down here. And here, that's for the checkbox itself. This is for the text box, this is for the checkbox. This is just to make sure the the checkbox is now checked. Look at it right there. Okay, because I intend to make it enabled. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, the name of that very function. I'm going to copy it, come right in here, double click on reset, and just paste it right in there inside reset. Okay, where's the code view? Right there. So let's say call there. So when I run it, that should actually take care of the text box if there's anything in there. Let's say we have some stuff in here and we've checked this, and you can see I'm able to enter some characters in there, which that's not allowed as well, so we need to take care of this. Alright, so let's try out our resets. There we go, and you see, but when I run the system, what happened was, if you notice, the system was, all of these text boxes are supposed to be disabled. So to achieve that, what I would do is this very one, just copy that, and I think we can always use form load, or maybe form activate. Form load right there, just paste that in there. Let's see what's going to happen with form load. So all I'm just doing is I'm just calling the function that I've written in here. So run it and let's see. Okay, form load, everything is disabled, so I can only use these to enable it. Okay, so that is fine. So it's going to be a lot of coding, but we can do it. It's no big deal. Right, that is that done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just write one single line of code to open up one, and I'll show it to you guys. Okay, before I do that, because all of these text box, they are just supposed to be text box, I don't want them to accept any character, because you only need to just enter the numbers of item that you select. So I've selected all of these text box. What I would then do is go straight to the property and come straight to the event here, and let's look for key pressed right there, event key pressed. In there I'm going to give it a name. I'll call it numbers only. Press enter. So right in there you can see the name of those text box there. I'll just enter as follows. Let's say if ASCII e dot key char not equals to 8, then if ASCII, I'm just going to copy that, paste it right there. If ASCII is greater than 48, 48 is supposed to be 0, or ASCII less than 57, 57, then what I want the system to do is e dot handle equals true, right, and just end if again. This is meant to be or, the logical or, and just end that. So that takes care of you entering any unwanted character. So let's run it and you guys see what I'm talking about. I will actually open up a visual keyboard. Yeah, that's one there. Okay, so everything is closed now. So let's go to form load. Form load here, I'm just going to comment it out for now, and you guys see what I'm talking about with the visual keyboard. So if I select anything in there and try to enter that, look at it, nothing is happening. But if I enter numbers, you see that, so that is fine, and the same thing applies to this. Alright, so that's working how I want. I can always get rid of that and reset. That's good. come straight to my form load, enable that. So you see how that works. Now the next thing we want to do is inside the reset, because we only have 3 labels, so I'm just going to enter those ones in there, just clear those. That's the first one cleared, and I'm going to clear that to the tags as well. LBL tags, clear, LBL total, there. So that's it, all done for the clear. That's it, all taken care of now. Alright, let's see. The next thing we want to do, like I said earlier on, was to take care of this checkbox. Okay, for this very checkbox, let me double click on that. That will be the only component that will enable each button for me, each text box. I mean, if chk celerin dot checked equals, let's say true, then I want the following dot enable, make that true, and clear the content in there, dot whatever is in there, clear it so that we can enter data in there. And also I would like focus to be set, dot set focus, dot focus, right there. Else we can just say else, or we can just use another if statement, or let me use else. Like this, let's say else if this one is false, if it's false, then I want the following to happen. These two, everything about this will change. This will become 0, and enable here will become false. Okay, so that's it for that. Look at that. So let's try it out. Let's try it out, the very first one, then I can just speed up the rest. So if I enter, you see that, and check there. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you guys get the whole idea for that, so I'm just gonna speed that up anyway. Okay guys, I've finished with the checkbox for each of the components. You can see the lines of code are exactly the same apart from the different names. Okay, let's run it anyway and you see what I'm talking about. Alright, that's it. So if I click on any of these, I can just enter a value in there. You see that? So that's it for all. Well, the thing is, supposing I didn't enter anything, this will definitely generate an error, but we can always take care of that inside the total and just default it back to 0 if there's nothing in there. So reset, everything is back. Or we can, I think we should just default it back to 0. So now let's take care of the total itself. Okay, with the total I'm going to enter as follows. These lines of code will actually prevent the system from having an error if there's nothing inside any of the text box. So this is what I'm talking about. Let's see. So if I check that, look at that, and I click on this, so it returns back to 0 because there's nothing right in there. Okay, so alright, I will need to do something about the other one. Okay, return it back to 0 there. Alright, now the next thing we want to do is we now need to create an object. Let's create an object there. I'm going to call that object products. Let's say name product, and let's say as C tags. Okay, equals new C tags. There, that's my object there created. Now the next thing I want to do is I will now call object product dot each of those items. Look at them, they're all here. Okay, and give them a value. So let's start with that of menu food first. Okay, if you guys can still recall, it's right in here. These are the variables that I'm calling now. Okay, so equals, let's go for txt. What's the first one called? Okay, it's called celerin. Txt celerin text. Let's give that a value, maybe there. That's the value of celerin. So all I need to do now is to repeat exactly the same thing for each of those components right here. All of this. That's all I need to do now. So when I come in here, the next one, we know the next one is going to be product 2. Alright, that's 2 equals, let's find out the name of the next one is carrots. Then we have onions. So txt carrot dot text. Let's say we multiply that by, let's say the cost of carrot is 1.5, and followed by the next one. I think that's supposed to be onions. Okay, dot text multiplied by that by, yeah. Alright, okay, so and so on. So I'm going to speed that up and get back to you guys. Okay, the content on each text box are now added to the product right there. So what we need to then do is let's add up the total. So I will start by entering, or first thing first, let's declare a variable here. I'm going to say dim itags. I'm going to use that for my to store the value. Okay, as double. Then let's say lbl subtotal dot text equals, let's get the content inside the product. So the product dot get amount this very one. Okay, if you guys can still recall, the amount is right up here. There we go, right there, the function amount. Okay, inside the class. So the next thing we want to do now is, now let's say itags itself, okay, equals product dot c find tags, this very one, right? So and what is it saying in there is going to be the content inside lbl subtotal dot text. You can always convert that if you want, but it works fine anyway. Now that is the tags taken care of. Now let me assign these into the tags itself. So the label tags, I'm going to say lbl tags dot text equals, let's get it formatted, convert it to currency. Okay, and what we convert into currency is going to be itags there. That is taken care of. Now what about total? Let's say lbl total dot text equals, let's get it formatted as well. Format whatever we have inside lbl here. that very one. Let's say plus LBL subtotal dot text. Right. So there. Okay, now let's do one thing. We need to get this one formatted as well. I'm going to copy all that, paste this one here, and that will be for the subtotal and change that to £sign as well. And I think that is all. Hopefully that should work fine. So let's give it a go and see. Now let's select any of those, and I'm going to purposely leave some out, just intentionally. Okay, and come in here, leave that out, that out, that out. There's nothing in there. Click on total. There we go, guys. That is fine, but we have a problem. These ones that are zeros, the checkbox are still on, so we need to be able to disable them. So to take care of something like this, okay, let's say let's come to reset, and that will be all once that is done. So exit, that is fine. Now let's come right in here and double click on, let's say we double click on this, right, and right there just enter the following: if txt milkshake text equals 0, then we want chk chocolate milkshake dot check. Let's make that equals false. Right, that should take care of that. So if I run it, look at these lines of code. Alright, if I run it now and I purposely check that, leave that, there's nothing in there. Right, and okay, I'm going to leave some. This is the only one I've taken care of. Click on that. You see, this is unchecked immediately. Okay, so that is fine. It's unchecked immediately. So if I click on it again, you see that. So I'm going to repeat the same thing for all and just speed it up and get back to you. Then we can then call it the end of the program. Right. Okay, that's it, guys. It's all taken care of, and that's it. So if there's 0 in there, all the checkbox should default back to false. So let's run it and you see what I'm talking about. In there and here there's nothing, there's something here, and let's do 1 or 2 here as well, and here. So when we click on that, you see that, guys, that default back to 0, apart from the one with the items. Okay, but there's something else. Supposing when we clear this and we didn't enter nothing in there, and we click, that's it. You see here, I don't want it like that because there's nothing selected, so this should be all cleared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right in here. Let's copy all of these here, and let's go back into the total. Right there inside total, just before the final calculation, that will be the last bit that needs to be taken care of. Let's come right down here. So right here, let's use an if statement. If LBL subtotal dot text equals 0, then we want all of these to be cleared, else carry out the following calculation. That's it, end if. So let's run it and you see. Okay, there's nothing in any of this. Okay, run that. You see that, guys? That's 0, no calculation takes place. But supposing we enter something in there. So guys, with that, I'm gonna call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you enjoy it, and it's a very interesting tutorial of a tax and inventory system. Thank you, and please do subscribe and like. You have a nice day now. Bye for now.